Yeah. Hey everyone, welcome to the Starch Lady here on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and wherever else we can share the good message about how to be healthy. That's our number one goal. And the side effect, if we all agree, is our side effect is losing weight and finding collarbones again. Woohoo! So we're excited about collarbones here at this house. So this shirt, in fact, by the way, has been in my closet for decades. And the last time I tried to put it on, I almost ripped the sleeves out. So it just fell on today. And I'm just ecstatic that it fits again. It's really cute. It comes down to like a V in the front and the back. It's got some leggings underneath. So I'm feeling good in the neighborhood today. So we want to do things a little backwards. Instead of going around and introducing ourselves like we normally do, our guest speaker is already on right there. Well, on my screen, she's right there. And introduce her just a little bit, but she's from Canada. And I'm going to ask you to unmute if you can and tell me how to pronounce your name. And everybody else, if you want to mute yourself, Shirley, if you want to mute your background. Pronounce your name for me and I'll talk about you for just a second.
Adenike.
Adenike. Okay, very good. I said it totally wrong, so I'm glad I asked.
You did.
So, but absolutely thrilled to have you. She's from Canada. She found the McDougall program all on her own, and she, in the last 2 years, if I understand correctly, has lost 100 pounds, and that is what, 46 kilograms, did you say, for all of our kids?
About 45.
45 kilograms, which is right at 99 to 100 pounds. And we're just so excited to hear her story today. So we're going to mute ourselves out and just kind of go with the flow. I'm going to let you take over. I'm going to put you in a different view because this is being recorded so that when we upload it to YouTube, it can have closed captioning for our hearing impaired listeners and viewers. So we're going to put it this way. And then we'll ask questions at the end. And again, I apologize for the boxes back here in the background, but we're packing, getting ready for our nationwide trip. And it's accumulating right there in my screen.
That's perfect. We don't need any fancy things to do our thing, you know.
I so the bathroom. So, but yes, tell us all about you. We are so excited.
Yeah. So my name is Adenike. I'm 46 years, and I have a daughter that is 4 years. I'm so blessed to have her because I have her when I was 42, actually. But I think my story goes back to 2005. I lost my mom to diabetes type 2. And from then, you know, all I hear about diabetes type 2 is, oh, it's caused by sugar, and all the stories goes around. So I remember going back to 2010, I've gone for my annual checkup. And the doctor called me like some days later that, oh, your sugar is high. You should remove sugar from your food. That was it. So all I know is, okay, I don't eat sugar. I don't try to drink pop and all those things. But then I kept getting bigger. Like, I don't really eat outside, but I cook my own food. Like, you know, the normal chicken, beef, and all those food. But then I kept getting bigger. But the only thing I know how to lose weight is exercise. So every day I'm going to go to the gym, run for 1 hour. But nothing seems to be working right. But then I keep getting sick. Like, okay, my body is paining me. I have terrible menstrual cramp. And, you just keep going back to the doctor every time. They tell you, oh, okay, go to this specialist. Then the specialist will say, oh, you should eat more meat so you can get iron, so you can have energy and all that. But I think in 2017, okay, let me go back. In 2014, I was pregnant with my first child. and I had gestational diabetes, and also something they call, is it cholestasis? Is a reduction of bowel reduction or something like that. And that was terrible because then my body itches throughout the night. Like I can't sleep and I'm pregnant. And the doctor said, oh, you have to use some medication. It's all medication. Then I started using insulin during the pregnancy. And I had the baby. That baby died like 6 months after I had him. Yeah, he had a genetic problem, SMA. I don't know if you've heard about it before, but it's a spinal problem. So he died. So then I'm like, okay, I'm 40 already. I don't know if I can get pregnant again. But God's so good. I got pregnant again. I had my second child. But the truth is, I had the same problem I had when I was pregnant with my first child. So after having my second child, it was about the 3rd month or the 4th month, a friend of mine that we keep talking about weight loss all the time, she was telling me about keto. But I'm like, no, I can't do keto because I don't like, beef a lot. So then she sent me a link to nutritionfacts.org, which is Dr. Michael Greger.
Yes.
The first thing I went to search on that website is about diabetes. And I was shocked with what I saw, that it's not caused by eating sugar. That was when my life turned around. So I started reading. I'm like, okay, they are talking about not eating animal here. What is going on? But they keep telling us we need protein. Okay, so I said, okay, this is going to be a research for me. I'm going to do this on my own. So every time I read something about one food, I will remove it from my food. So I removed beef, I removed chicken. At first, it was a little hard because this is like the main thing in my food. Like, you have to cook chicken, you have to boil it, you have to fry it. So then I remove all those things. And in 3 months, the terrible menstrual period was gone. I'm like, okay, I'm onto something here. Then I removed the dairy. I mean, which is normally, as normal human being, we should have thought about it, that why are we drinking milk from another animal? Like, it's so simple like that, but we never thought about it because they keep telling us, oh, you get calcium from drinking cow milk. So I'm like, okay, this is true. Why am I drinking milk? If God wants me to drink milk, I've drank a lot of milk from my mother when I was little. So why will I go to cow to drink milk? So I said, okay, this is not going to happen to my child. She's not going to drink this so-called milk. But I remember each time I take her for a checkup with the doctor, they keep asking me, oh, do you give her milk? I tell them, no, I don't. She's not going to drink cow milk. But they say, oh, we're concerned because I said, but she's not going to drink it. She doesn't need it. So I keep, eating that way. But then I was still cooking with oil because I've not found Dr. McDougall website by then. So I was still cooking with oil, like I would cook my beans with oil, my rice with oil, and my potato with oil. I think one day I was watching YouTube and I saw Andrew Taylor. This is the guy that, ate potato for a year. And he mentioned Dr. McDougall. I quickly ran to his website. I'm like, oh my God, this is what I need. Then I found the color book. He has a color book. So I said, okay, I'm going to follow this color book. By that time, I've not really lost a lot of weight, but I have noticed that I'm much better. Like my energy is high, the menstrual cramp is gone. So when I found the color book, I tried to follow what is stated in that book. I removed the oil, I reduced my nut intake. That was when my weight just went down. But you know, for me, this journey has been about my health. It has been about my health. If it's about just the weight loss, maybe I will go back to eating all those, animal food. But I now realize that the human body is never created to eat, to put another, animal in our body. And it's so hard because most of the doctors we go to tell us that you get iron from eating beef, you get protein from eating beef, you get calcium from drinking cow milk. You know, the things they put in our mind, not letting us to even sit down to think that, God has supplied us with what we need. And it's plant, it's just plant, just eat plant, you will be fine. And also it's cheap. So, when I got to that point that I've started losing weight, so I just make my food so simple. Like I don't complicate my food. If I'm eating broccoli, rice, beans, that's what I'm eating. I don't care if that's what I'm going to eat for a week. I enjoy my food. Because the first thing you notice when you start eating this way is your taste bud has changed. You will taste the real, I begin to taste the real, get the real taste of food. Like I eat my potato without adding anything. I cook my rice without putting salt or oil or any other, all those things that makes us overeat when we sit down to eat. And one other thing I practice is mindfulness. Because sometimes when we wake up, we don't need food, but we just keep eating just because food is there. So I practice mindfulness and I plan my food. Most times in the weekend, that's what I do. I cut up my salad, I cook my beans, I make my potato. I just make sure that I have everything ready so that I don't go out. And when I'm going out, I take my food with me. Like I will take some potato, with me, so that if I'm hungry, I can just take my food and eat. And also some things I try to do is I don't buy like baked food. I bake everything myself because I have a 4-year-old that I'm raising on a plant-based lifestyle as well. Because one thing I look at is this. Because I'm African, and most African ladies, we have fibroid. I get to know that this thing did not just start from when we even get to like 18 years. It started from when we were small, because sometimes some of the food we eat just go to our body and damage the body. So I'm looking at my daughter. I don't want her to grow up and experience the same thing I experienced. So from when she's small, I want to raise her to be, strong and not have any health issue that I experience. So yeah, that's my story. And I tell it because I know it's very simple. I know it's not something that is so hard that people cannot do, but it's just that the environments we live in, we are bombarded with so much, so much food. There are some food you can't even pronounce and they make you eat it, So yeah, that's my story, and I'm happy to share it with anybody that cares to listen, because there's no Western medicine out there that can cure, all these things. They can keep giving us medication, but it doesn't do anything. It's just like you have your zinc at home and you have problem with it. You know you threw things that are bad in the zinc, but then you went to call the plumber. Fine, they will come and repair it for you, but if you put the same thing again, the same problem will happen. So sometimes I look at some doctors as maybe they are plumbers. You go to them, they fix it by giving you medication. You come back home, you eat the same food, you put it in your body, you feel sick again, you go back to them. I know plant-based lifestyle cannot solve every problem, but I think because 90% of chronic illnesses is from food, like Dr. McDougall would say, it is the food. So then if we take that off the table, then we can concentrate on things that are not caused by food. So for me, you know, like Dr. McDougall would say, eat your potato, eat your starch. Just eat it. Open your mouth and put in the right food. Then you're good to go. For me, I've really gained from, you know, following this starch-based lifestyle. And I tell people, you don't need to do so much. Just pick the food you like. For me, it's not like I eat every vegetable out there. I just eat what I like. I love broccoli. I love rice, brown rice. I love all kinds of beans. Yes. You know, I love fruits, watermelon. I just eat what I can. I look at other people's recipes, but it's not like I copy them, you know, everything they do. I just pick it, I switch it up, and I make it my own. Like I put mushroom in most of my food because I love mushroom. So it's not like you have to really eat what this person eats. Just pick any starch you like and you're good to go.
That is awesome. Your example of referring to it, referencing going to the doctors and putting the food in this, like your plumbing, like your sink, you know, and the sink clogs up because of all that stuff you put in it. And you can send that what is that, Drano. You can put the medicine, you know, the plumbing Drano down there to help dissolve it. But if you just keep putting the same food down there, it's going to clog right back up again. That is that's a perfect example, Adenike. That's beautiful.
Yeah, so. It is. And you know, one thing I say against this, I think we all take care of our cars and our houses more than our body. Mm-hmm. See, we have a car, there's an instruction. Put gas in your car. If you go put diesel, you're going to run to the mechanic. So there's instruction for our body on what goes inside our body. Mm-hmm. And these are the things we ignore that at the end of the day causes cancer, causes diabetes, stroke, hypertension, men having problem, you know, with, you know, enjoying life with their wives.
That was a nice way to put that.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, we rush to the doctors. I remember going to a doctor because I had a serious iron problem at a point, and they referred me to a specialist. The first thing I noticed is this is an overweight specialist I'm going to. And I sat there, and the first thing he told me is, oh, you have to eat more meat, more beef. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, but I don't like beef. Because at that time, I have noticed that each time I eat beef, my body begin to scratch, like I get itches in my body. But then I don't know who to discuss this with. It's something I noticed, right? So I try to remove the beef. But I'm sitting in front of a doctor and he's saying, eat the beef. I'm like, but I don't want to eat the beef. He said, oh, you have to eat the beef to get iron. But guess what? When I started following Dr. McDougall, I now realized why I had that iron problem. I was drinking coffee a lot. And you know what coffee does? You won't absorb your iron. So the moment I remove the coffee, done. My iron is back. Like I eat beans and all the food that will bring iron to my body. So I read a lot. I listen to podcasts. Instead of watching TV, I don't watch TV. I don't have time. I just listen to podcasts from all these lifestyle doctors so that I can gain from them. And I buy a lot of books as well, because that's the way to go. You have to listen to people that are doing this lifestyle because they've been doing it for so long. But because we don't know them, like for me, okay, I live in Canada. I've not found any lifestyle doctor, like plant-based lifestyle doctor here.
Yeah, I agree.
I've not. So it's really, it's really for like the thing you're doing right now, trying to help people. It's really a great thing because so many people are blind out there. Like they don't know it. They don't know that, just your food could turn around your life. Like just eating potato could do so much for you. So yeah, that's my story. If there's any question, I can answer.
Well, before we get into the questions, I want to pop over and show you off just a little bit. I'm going to screen share here. And I love that analogy of the car too. I use that quite often. If you put the wrong gasoline in your car, you're going to see the mechanic. And, we can't put diesel or unleaded fuel in our body or we would die, any more than we can put a bottle of soda or a pot of coffee in our car because the car would die. It's not our food. It's not our fuel. And so that's a really great analogy to realize. And we talk about this all the time on our group here, that the foods that we eat become our blood, and that blood becomes our tissue and our organs. And, so you have to make a decision. Do you want healthy blood and tissue and organs, or do you not? And I did a little tiny short YouTube video the other day when I was, our guest speaker last week has lost 120 pounds or something. Her and her husband combined had lost.
I know her. That's Esther.
Esther, yeah. So they've lost like 200 pounds combined. And so I did a little quip about her book because I got her book the day after she was on. And the thought of choices popped up. And so I did a little teeny thing talking about, if you make the choice to eat that bowl of ice cream, for example, it's not just a one moment, just for a minute, oh, I just did that. Okay, move on. That ice cream gets into your body and it gets into your bloodstream, whether you want it to or not. There's no way you can stop it. It's going to get into your bloodstream. That blood's going to become, what's carrying your oxygen from head to toe once every 3 minutes. It's going to become your tissue. It's going to become your organs. And with that, it's not just a one-time thing. You're stuck with those organs for their duration of life. If it gets into your brain, you're stuck with it, for 2 years. Your liver, 7 months to 21 months, depending on how healthy it was. But if you get it into your heart, if that particular ice cream blood becomes part of your heart, cells or function, well, hearts are a little hard because once you have a damaged heart, it's usually not regenerated like your liver can regenerate itself like a lizard's tail. But that ice cream is stuck with you. It becomes part of you. So it's not just a one thing. It's like it gets in there and it becomes part of you and you're stuck with it. So it's not just a one-time thing. So we have to think, okay, I know that this is going to damage my blood cells, but I'm going to eat it anyways. That's when we have to take a step back and realize what's most important. My son came home the other night and he brought home a fantastically delicious vegan, dairy-free, the fat content was even low. It was the weirdest ice cream I'd ever had, but it was really delicious. And we had a little bit of that. And in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I'm reading the ingredients, say, okay, I make that at home. I can make that at home. I can make that at home. And, you got to look and see if it's a whole food. Is it something you could actually eat or make in your own kitchen? That makes a huge difference between processed and unprocessed foods. But let's go over here and go stalking on Adenike's folder here. I'm going to screen share. Been stalking her like crazy for the last week. So I wish I'd started.
That's good.
I got sidetracked and didn't get to uh,
What the hell?
market her as quickly as I wanted to. Oh, there's that cute little 4-year-old right there.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's my girl.
how sweet is that? She's
Her
a
best food is rice and beans.
Whoa, there we go. But look at this. This is like 2015, and this is more recent. And we're going to go down and see some more pictures here and things. But yeah, so look at this 2021 versus 2015. And if I understood correctly, Adenike, you had only started doing this about 2 years ago. Is that right?
Yeah, I started the Star Solution in 2019, but I started the vegan journey in 2017.
Okay, okay. Corn. Now I was interested in the coconut because I know it's so high in fat, but I'm sure that's just an occasional treat now and then, eh?
It's not every time, and when you eat it all, it's better.
Yes, I understand because it's got a lot of fiber, actually does. So
Yeah,
yeah, just
yeah,
eating little pieces like that. There's our favorite little couple there. Nutrition in Children with Dr. John and Mary McDougall. You can go and ask
yeah,
to be our friend. I'm sure she would welcome that.
That's
Look at
great.
these. Look at these muffins here. This is her
yeah. The
slogan.
muffins are made with chickpea flour and oat flour.
That is amazing. Her slogan is "Just Eat Plants," and on Instagram it's justeatplants.ca for Canada. But Just Eat Plants is how you find her on YouTube here too. I'll show you in a minute. So here's some of the muffins she's doing. Here she's out riding her bicycle. She's talking to me in here in this video. I listened to the video, Adenike, and she's talking about. Let's just listen for a second. It's only 48 seconds. Look at right here.
Ooh.
That's when you don't drink and drive, right?
Yeah, it's Sunday here. Just trying to enjoy the afternoon. Oh yeah, I love bike riding. I do. Just encouraging you out there. Get up, move your body. Whatever you can do, either you want to walk, run, swim, bike, do anything to move that muscles.
That's awesome. Yeah, so I mean, she's getting out there and making it happen. She's got all kinds of salads she chopped up and made. And notice she made her own salad. She didn't even spend money on buying the little kits and stuff that are now up to almost $5 a tiny little bag for 2 people. And she actually cut all that up and made her own salad with the Brussels sprouts and cabbage and carrots and kale and stuff in there that we've been spending all this money for at the store. There's some other recipes down here. Great ideas. That soup looks absolutely divine. Just all kinds of good stuff. She's just a world of information. If we go over here to her YouTube page, Just Eat Plants. I just put in the word search, Just Eat Plants, love it. And she's got all kinds of recipes here. This oil-free mushroom sauce looks absolutely amazing. Oil-free fried rice and beans, understanding type 2 diabetes. I mean, there's just a world of information here. Yellow is my favorite color. Spinach sauce with mushrooms, plant-based banana bread. I mean, you could just spend, a good long time on here looking at some of the videos that she's done. And that's just such a gift for all of us. And then if we pop over here to Instagram, I forgot to pull this one up before we got started. And you're on the Instagram page. And if you go to, where's the little searchy button? Oh, right here, right in the middle, right in front of my face. There it was, justeatplants.ca. And boom, here is more. And some of those same recipes and ideas. Just eat plants. I think that is great. It's like, that's not your food, or, everybody has a little saying, but that looks divine. What's in that one?
That's a spinach mushrooms sauce.
Nice.
So I use So I use spinach, pepper, mushroom. Then I added some walnuts just to give it a little bit of taste and all that.
Yeah, I've been.
But there's no oil at all.
I've been using instead of nuts, I've been using like sun-dried tomatoes to get the texture, but without the added fat from the nuts. This looks like a chickpea cookie. This is the one with the walnuts in there also. You're growing in your weight, so now and then you can afford to have some of the nuts now and then.
A little bit.
Yeah, for myself, I'm not there yet. I've still got a good ways to go, and I can't do that just yet. Look at that. Y'all just want to grab a fork and just jump right in that bowl right there and wear it. I mean, just rub it in our face and our, the cologne. I can just almost smell it. It's got to be just so full of flavor.
And it was tasty, right? Just simple ingredients, right? Things you can pick from the store, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the fun whole part. Did you sew these dresses?
Somebody made it for me.
Oh,
yeah, somebody here made it for me and my daughter.
So sweet, so sweet. Beautiful, beautiful. Broccoli and the stuff that here too. That's just amazing. Absolutely wonderful. What are you saying here? Oh, she's dancing. Oh, I think she's dancing. Let's see if she's dancing. But hold on. Got to get that little.
Out, lose the weight. Gain your out, lose the weight. Gain your out, lose the weight. Gain your. Eat your health and not your weight. And gain your out, lose the weight. Gain your out, lose the weight. Gain your out, lose the weight. Gain your
health, lose the weight. We are on it.
Yeah.
Gain your health,
that's it. You gotta gain your health and lose the weight. Don't let the weight be the focus. The health has to be the focus.
It literally really has to be. That's a cute little jingle. I love that. Absolutely, I love that. Let me get back here to stop screen sharing. Yes, this is amazing. So let's open this up if y'all would like to unmute and ask Adenike some questions. Am I saying your name correctly? Am I getting there?
Yeah, sure. You are.
Thank you. All right. So what questions do we have for her? Let's pick her brain while we've got her.
Yeah.
No questions.
Yeah, Samantha, to unmute yourself. I think you're trying to talk to us. Hey, Sandy.
Hey. Hi. So I know you had the type 2 diabetes or whatever while you were pregnant, but after
gestational diabetes.
Right. So it never happened. I mean, you never had full-blown diabetes after you had your child?
No, I didn't have it because it was after I had my child that I started eating this way. Okay. But I think one thing I would say is this. I think before having the gestational diabetes, this is my theory. I think we already have the pre-diabetes.
Yeah.
For me, I think that's what I see. That's why we always have the gestational diabetes, because it's all the same thing.
Right.
We just kind of wait a little bit with all the extra food we eat when we're pregnant and not properly hydrating and all those cravings that we have. We kind of push it into activity. It's kind of like they tell us that everybody has the potential for cancer. But if you don't feed the cancer, it can't grow. So I tell people it's like a sewer, and a sewer attracts everything from rats and cockroaches and snakes. There's just all kinds of nasty living in a sewer. But if you go through and you clean out the sewer, the rats, the cockroaches, and the snakes have to go find somewhere else to live because there's nothing there for them. So if we don't make a sewer inside of our body, or that plumbing pipe that you were talking about earlier, where that pipe is clogged full of these nasty foods we've been eating and trying to add a medication to fix that, it's easier just not to eat the foods that clog it up to begin with or that destroy that. And there is so
Yeah.
much more iron in leafy green vegetables. There's so much more protein in leafy green vegetables than you are ever going to get out of a piece of meat. And that's where science has failed the medical doctors, and they paid all that money to go to medical school and were never taught the most key element of success for themselves or their clients, their patients' health. And that's where we come in, and as plant-based educators, practitioners, you know, it's our job to be able to help spread that word and teach it. And somebody asked me why I don't pay for all the stuff that I do and all the consults I do, because normally my phone consults are like $1 a minute, and if I'm doing it that way. But I don't charge for the group when they call me and ask me questions. And I do that because this isn't my discovery, but it's my gratitude. You know, I didn't, you know, I'd been doing it with just plants the way that I was trained for the last 10 plus years. And I had lost a significant amount of weight, but I was stuck and on that plateau for so long. And until I met Dr. McDougall's program by accident on YouTube, it was like on the side piano, and it's like, eat potatoes. And I thought, oh, this must be about diabetes. And it wasn't. And I just, you know, started researching. It took me about 6 months of research before I thought, he's not a Looney Tune. You know, I'm thinking if I'm going to eat a potato, I'm going to get diabetes. I'm going to be sicker than ever. And so I finally gave it a try. And in the first month, lost 17 pounds. And he had my full undivided attention from then. And so this is my gratitude channel. This is like paying it forward. You know, I'm getting collarbones again. That blows my mind. I have not seen those in so long. And it's just, you know, putting on clothes that don't rip when you put them on anymore. And having your husband put his arms around you and say, oh, you're smaller. You know, those are things that we live for. And this is happening this past year. I had surgery, so it kind of messed up the end of the year. But my 1 year mark was June 1st, and I lost 42 pounds in 52 weeks. So not quite a pound a week. I was right on track for a pound a week until the 42nd week. These last 10 weeks since I injured myself has been a little rough. But the point is that I know that this is working. And here's the kicker. Adenike, I don't know if you know this, but my specialty is microscopic blood. And by adding the starches back into the plants, I am still able to get perfect blood in the microscope. I'm still able to get perfect readings. We do a very detailed Ream's biological ionization theory breakdown of the urine, and those numbers are still perfect. Adding the starches in that I'd been taught for decades was the bad evil thing. But you know, potatoes, rice, beans, lentils, oats are not the same as cookies, cakes, ice cream, you know, that sort of thing. So, oh, that's just wonderful. Sandy, did you have a question a minute ago?
No.
Okay. So we have got some wonderful people on the group. We got, what, 9 people on the call today. Sometimes we have 20 or 30. Sometimes it's just me and Samantha, you know. So we're just really glad to be able to have you. And we look forward to hearing from you some more. I want everybody to go out there and join her Instagram page, join her YouTube channel, wait for her next post. And I hope she'll pop in and give us some more information and share. You're welcome to join our contest. We give away prizes. We give away prizes for people posting what they eat on the Starch Lady page. And so, you know, I love when people say what we eat in a day. And a lot of the group members are posting their breakfast, lunch, and dinner and snacks all on one post, which makes it really easy to see what they ate in a day. And we give them points for that. So coming up, let's see, let me look at the calendar here. The calendar, we got one more week in the month of June. And then on July 7th, we'll be doing our drawing again. So you got one more week to get your videos posted, your pictures of your photos of your food. If you have something cool, like if you, somebody posted just recently, we've had a couple people post videos that they've watched on YouTube or something and have shared the link. That's worth another point. And then we put all those names in a hat, we stir them around, and we pull one out, and that person gets to go shopping with me on Amazon, and we deliver something fun or yummy to their house that they have been needing. We've been giving a lot of waffle irons away lately. We've given away rice cookers and crock pots and books. We've given away some McDougal books, some foods that are just unique and exciting. So we just try to make it fun. I'm all about the bribe. So,
And I think one thing I would say is when people start, sometimes they fall off. I think people should not stay there. If you fall off, just get back up again and keep going. Yeah. Because there are just temptation, out there. And also, this is the food you've been used to for a long time. So getting them out of your mouth sometimes is very hard. So one thing I do is anything I can't put in my mouth, I don't have it at home. Like I don't have them. No, I don't have them. Because if you have it in the house, like Chef AJ said, you're gonna eat it. So you have to be mindful of that too. And one other thing I would say is this: I recently went through menopause. Mm-hmm. And you know that in Dr. McDougall page, there was somewhere he wrote about the Asian people that they don't even know what is called the menopause symptoms. And I experienced the symptom maybe for a month. I was feeling this hot flash. I tried to eat some tofu, and that was it. That was it for me. Everything is gone. I don't feel I can't say, oh, okay, I'm going through menopause. Just like people will say that they have symptoms, they are going through this. I don't feel that. So just to say that this plant-based lifestyle is really good. It's good for everybody. I know people don't accept that. They will say, oh, some people can still eat this and survive. But for me, even in the old age, I want to be healthy. I don't want to be going to any doctor for medicine all the time.
Yeah, I hear you there. We, when I had the hysterectomy back in 2009, the doctors were surprised that I didn't need any hormones. I thought I was going to wake up in menopause at age 48, I think it was, and that I was going to be grumpy and, just sweating like crazy. I woke up happy. I woke up feeling great, other than they messed up my surgery. That's a whole nother story. But I didn't have those symptoms, and I didn't go through the hot flashes and things like that and the night sweats and things like that until just recently after my surgery. This last we're in the 5th week now, I started having these night sweats again. I thought, what is going on? This is really weird. I'm not eating any different. It dawned on me. They gave me these compression wraps. They're battery operated to make sure that my circulation's good. And I was wearing those at nighttime, and I was waking up in a puddle of sweat. I thought, oh my gosh, the surgery changed and I've got, hot flashes again. And then it dawned on me, these squeezy things on my legs from the surgery are pushing the circulation up, and it's making my heart and my body think that I'm running. I'm exercising. So I'm laying in bed sleeping. My legs are contracting and squeezing on their cells, and I'm sweating like I'm out running a marathon. Maybe for added extra little pounds of weight loss, that might be beneficial, but I could really dig not waking up in a wet bed. So for the last 2 nights, I've left those leg squishy things off. I'm only using them in the daytime, and no more night sweat. So I am not going into retro, menopause and night sweats. It was just the squeezy things on my legs making me think that I should be running somewhere. So no.
I have a question for her. Does her whole family eat the way she eats, or just her?
Well, I'm a single mom, so it's just myself and my daughter. But I have a sister in London, UK. She is trying to eat that way too, because I know that diabetes type 2 runs in the family, because that's what our mother had. So I've started telling my siblings to change their food, because there's no cure for diabetes type 2. Don't just get it. Just make sure you don't have it. eat your food so that you don't get it. So yeah.
I tell people there's no inherited diseases, but what we did inherit was bad habits and eating recipes.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
the bad
Yes.
habits and the recipes is what causes the diabetes, because
Yes.
type 1 diabetes, they're born with at birth. That's a little bit different, but it's also treated the same according to Dr. McDougall and other doctors that I've studied under. But type 2 diabetes is all on us and that fork. It was what we put in our mouth that caused the type 2 diabetes. So we have full control of that. People don't understand that it's the food you chose to put in your mouth that made you have these problems. It's the food you don't put in your mouth that can fix those problems, or switching the foods that you're putting in your mouth. You know?
And sometimes you think people are not listening when we post these things on Facebook. I think people listen because some of my friends, I've seen some people send, you know, personal message to me that, Nika, the things you're posting is really helpful. Please keep posting. They might not come out to write it, you know, on the page, but I think we should just keep doing what we're doing so that even if they don't talk out, you know, they are thinking about it.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
Some of your recipes that you have, are they created by you, or you've got ideas from somebody else that you?
No, most of them are created by me. I just mix the food together.
That's what I like to do.
Yeah. You see, before I started eating this way, I don't bake anything. Like I don't bake, I just go buy. But when I started eating this way, I noticed that the things they sell in the store, I can't buy them. Even the ones they call vegan, I can't buy them. I can't eat them. So I have to make my own.
Okay.
We call that junk food vegan foods. Just because it says it's vegan and not from an animal doesn't mean it's not full of fat and sugar and other things, you know. According to most vegans, you know, soda is vegan, you know.
Yes.
So do you have a garden?
No, I don't, because I live in like a townhouse. So there's not too much space to have a garden at home.
So Adenike, wanted to ask you, Dr. Roe was saying that you're in Canada. Where are you? Are you in Montreal?
No, I'm in Edmonton, Alberta.
Oh, cool. Okay. Cold city in the winter.
Yeah, it is.
But still, you know, I think it.
But it's still beautiful.
Your story is amazing. It's,
Isn't that incredible?
I was one person also who learned Dr. McDougall's program online. I didn't go to the program until, well, I went to the program this year just as a thank you, because I've learned everything online. 14 years ago.
I bought some of his books.
Yeah. And a lot of his books are available in the library too.
Oh, that's awesome.
He's such a great guy. I'm like, why can't they give him Nobel Prize? Like,
you know,
he's done so much.
Have you written to him to tell him to put you in his Star McDougallers?
No, I've not done that yet, but I'm gonna do it.
Do it.
I'm gonna do it. I'm always proud of him. Like I listen to him all the time.
Yeah. You know what? He would love to hear from you. He always says he and Mary, they never get tired of hearing life-changing stories.
Transformation. I will do that.
Yeah.
I will do that.
Email your story and your pictures to Heather at drmcdougall.com and tell her that you'd like to be submitted into the Star McDougaller page, because it sounds like you took the most of the 100 pounds off like the year before the last 2 years, you know, since you started doing McDougall, most of it, and you've maintained it now for over a year, correct?
Yes.
Yes. So that's the kind of stories they want to hear, as people that have gotten to a healthy weight, healthy condition, and they've been able to maintain that. So type it up. If you want to do a video, they have 2 sections on the McDougall page. They have the video success stories and they have the written success stories. You could do one in both if you want, but submit something, because I don't know about you, but I prefer listening and watching the video and actually seeing them talking more than I like to see the pictures, because I like to see their double chin not be there. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, that's a really good picture. What do they really look like? You know, but no, I mean, it's wonderful. Our own Beth Renfro, and I missed her so much. Sandy, you got to get on her. We got to get her back on these calls.
I know.
But she had gone from 204 pounds to 179, doing point program, and she would always gain and lose that same 20 pounds or so. And then she found the McDougall program when I shoved it down her throat last year, and she dropped down to 108 pounds, like lickety split. And she just did amazing. And she's maintained between 108 to 110-ish, pounds ever since. And so she submitted a success story. It was a written form. And I haven't seen it pop up yet. So I need to send another reminder to them and say, hey, where's Beth Renfro's success story? But if you go on our Facebook group, The Starch Lady, and put in Beth Renfro, you'll see she even posts a picture of last year, her in her swimsuit, and she takes up the whole screen. And then you see her this year in her swimsuit, and she's this little tiny thing with this cute little swimming suit on in the next.
Oh my God.
So here's Beth and here's Beth, and she's, just feeling amazing. She had surgery on her hand the same time I had repair surgery on my knee. So we've both been a little bit out of sorts lately, but it's been several weeks since we've had her on the call here. But she's the girl behind the scenes that goes in and she tags all the posts of what hashtag 50/50 meal or hashtag Mary's Mini or hashtag whole food plant-based. She's the one that tags those in the background and actually admits most of the people that come into the group. She's the one that's always behind the scenes. So
that's wonderful. Congratulations.
Do you know anybody else in Edmonton? Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry?
Do you know anybody else in Edmonton who eats the way you do?
No, I don't. But I have a group in Alberta that's, I follow a group on Facebook. So I don't really know people personally, but I know there are people in other cities, not in Edmonton, but I'm sure there are people in Edmonton too.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
Well, while we've got a little bit of time left here, does anybody have any more questions for Adenike? If not, let's go around.
I don't have any questions. I just wanted to thank you so much for sharing your story. That's just amazing. And it's just always inspiring to hear more stories like that. And it keeps me in the loop, it keeps me going. So just thank you so much for sharing.
You're welcome.
That's awesome. I know Samantha's got her lunch up here. And one of the things we normally do at the beginning of our program, we're going to do it at the end today, is go around and have y'all take a minute to tell us about your week and how it's going and what you're eating. And Samantha, go ahead and tell us what you made for lunch there today. It looks like you're enjoying it.
I have a tomato, a cucumber, yellow cauliflower, and potatoes are in the air fryer. Well, a little bit of them were here, but the potato is still in the air fryer, except the little bit that was for the picture. And then, after the picture is taken, that's when I scarf all the,
I'm coming.
You have inspired several of us. I know Caroline and I have been quite inspired by your mustard, your yellow French's mustard for salad dressing. So simple and so tasty. I've been doing that a lot lately, just putting mustard on the salad. It's been really good. So, and since my potatoes are in there already, they're already getting coated. So it's really good. So awesome. And I noticed your shirt is falling off your shoulders. You're thinner across the shoulders. You look fantastic. So.
Oh, this is a large. I went down a size. So this is the downsized.
Wow. Wow. So you're ready to go into mediums now, girl.
No way. I'm
not quite there yet. Oh, that'll be there.
So baggy clothes are good for me. I don't like having my shorts fall off and having to wear a belt, but shirts are okay. But thank you for sharing your story, Adenike.
Perfect.
It's okay.
Very, very nice. Thank you.
So
You're welcome.
Samantha's definite why, she found out really quick that she had no more pain, and she'd been living with full body pain for about 23 years. And when she eats the McDougall way, she has no pain. And if she goes off, like she did at Christmas to New Year's, she said that was never going to happen again because she did not like the sudden return of pain. So that's something that you don't hear very often. People will talk about different illnesses, but they don't realize how many people live with chronic pain. And a lot of people are so used to it, they don't realize how much chronic pain they had until all of a sudden it's gone. You know, but Samantha knew every minute of every day how much pain she had, and it's gone eating this way. So when people tell me that they can't eat certain foods because it's a nightshade and it causes inflammation, I say, okay, erase that from your brain. Just completely wipe that out of your brain, because that is not a thing. You know, maybe what you ate with it, putting a potato with a piece of meat, is going to cause inflammation, but don't blame it on the poor potato. It's not the potato's fault. It was the fact that you put it with the meat, and your body has to produce acid to break down the hydrochloric acid to break down the meat you didn't chew to liquid. It has to release alkaline juice, or whatever you want to call it, alkalophil glands, to break down the potato. And those two things neutralize. And so then it just creates an acid buildup and an acid buildup and acid buildup, and just kind of like keeps neutralizing until all of a sudden you've got inflammation. And they're going to put an entire slated thing and say, oh, it's a nightshade, it's causing inflammation. And I just want to go reach through the screen and go, bah, 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 bah. No, I want to go find their doctors and go, you know, what is wrong with you? You know, they didn't learn that in medical school. So that's what we're here for, is to educate. Education, not medication. So, all right, who's next here? Lonnie, what were you eating earlier today? I heard some clanking fork before I muted you. What was that?
Okay, I normally eat oatmeal and some kale in the morning, but I hadn't chopped any kale and I didn't have any oatmeal. So, but I do have a bunch of starches in the fridge, and so I pulled out. I have some roasted buckwheat, also known as kasha. I mixed it and I made it with onions, this was already prepared. I also threw some parsley into it. And what else? I threw some beans into it, and some arugula on top, and that was my meal. So.
Very nice. I was really surprised to find out that buckwheat is actually a starchy fruit. It's actually a fruit. So, but it's like an amazing thing. I loved living in Japan and having the buckwheat yakisoba noodles, and now in the US, they're making buckwheat noodles, but they're adding flour to give them a different texture. So I had to order some special online, and I was able to get some ordered in that were gluten-free and still just 100% sweet.
I can get, actually the roasted buckwheat is cooked, because it's been roasted. But I find that in the bulk section of my market here. But you can also get buckwheat that isn't roasted, so it depends what you like. For a while there, at the beginning of COVID, they didn't have a supply of the roasted buckwheat, so I was just using what I could find, and then I mixed the two, and then the roasted buckwheat came back, and it's nice to actually add some onions or add some garlic if you like, and I make it 6 cups at a time, so I have lots of it, and Morris has some too. He'll eat it. So and then I have a bunch of potatoes in the fridge and whatever. So I never lack for stuff to eat. After I get off the call here, I'm gonna go make a whole pot of oatmeal so I can have it for the next few days. So,
there you go. Awesome. Nancy, how's your first full week going on the program?
Oh, I'm doing okay. I'm so sad I missed Adenike's presentation, but I just
watch the playback. I'm going to have it uploaded into YouTube, and I'll put it on the group.
That is such good news. Okay, well, I have 2 granddaughters whose father is Nigerian, and I'm finding it difficult to find resources where, because my daughter is appropriately protective of her daughters feeling like, you know, they're not just being raised by a white lady. So I think it's, you know, I think to her, she was afraid that I was like pushing this like agenda on them that was going to take them out of his culture. And that's not what I want. So anyway, I'm looking forward to your presentation. And yeah, I've been doing okay. I'm super like tired, and I know I'm in a detox effect because I started doing sauna and stuff. So please hear me. This is not actually a negative. It's just, you know, part of the process of detoxing, right? So I'm just tired, not all day, but I'm just like I'm not getting great sleep at night. And then I'm, you know, like dribbing and drabbing little naps and stuff. I have a weird work schedule anyway, but I've been okay. What's that?
That can throw it off big time with your schedule.
But it's been this way since October. So like I felt like I had sort of settled into it. And then I had a bunch of big days that were insane. And then I started using sauna. So anyway,
Make sure you're hydrated and you have a little bit of salt in that water.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not going to ever give a thumb up to Gatorade. Gatorade is toxic waste. Do not even think about that.
Yeah.
But I make a homemade energy. We talk about it quite often on here, and I can send you the recipe or I can post it again. But as long as you're drinking your water every 2 hours and you're staying hydrated, the first one in the morning, you could, or when you're wanting to wake up and get moving, it's like a 10 to 12 hour sustainable energy. And it's a quart of water, a level teaspoon of the pink salt, juice from a lemon or a lime for flavor. And you've basically made your own healthy homemade energy drink. And I also like to put in a shot of the chlorophyll that doesn't have the waxes and alcohols and stuff in there that I have. But that green lemonade or lemonade without the chlorophyll in it is a 10 to 12 hour sustainable energy, and it replaces the electrolytes. And if you're going into the sauna, like when I have a client that's going into the far infrared sauna, for example, I make sure that they go in there with a tall glass of that recipe, because what they're putting out is detox. What they're putting in is fuel and energy without having them do too much and really have an issue from over sweating in the sauna. Especially when we first get the saunas in their homes, they want to do it a lot and for too long. So I have them start out at like 30 minutes if they're going to do the detox with the saunas, and work their way up to like 40 minutes. But I don't ever let anybody, I don't care who they are, stay in there more than 50 minutes. That's the max. And they have to be fully hydrating before they come. They have to show me that they drank that whole quart of water while they were in. It depends on their body size. I'll adjust the glass size for them. And then when they come out, I give them another glass of water. It's very important to replace.
No, that's a great little recipe. And then the other thing that I really like is coconut water. And I'll go ahead and get those young Thai coconuts and lop off the top and open it like a can. And the flesh from that is great, like in a smoothie or.
Yeah, Adenike was just talking about that, how eating
awesome.
coconut, the whole coconut is different than having just the coconut oil or stuff like that. If you're going to do it. Now for weight loss, Dr. McDougall would say no. But
no, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so but having reached it and accumulate that. I've been obsessed with wanting to learn how to do plantains lately. And they're a very starchy thing. I don't know if you is that something in your culture that you've done before, Adenike?
It is. It's one of the best food in my culture. Okay. So you can put it in the oven for 30 minutes at 350.
With the skin on?
No, remove the skin. Just remove the skin like you want to do banana, and make sure it's the ripe one, not overripe, just the ripe one. Okay. Or you can boil it. You can boil it like a boiling potato. Okay. But not for that long. Then you can eat it with, sauce and all those, or you can cook it with plantain as beans as well.
Okay.
Maybe you cut it into your beans.
Share that with us.
I think I will do a video. I don't think I've done any video with plantain. I will do that.
Oh, that would be fantastic. That would be fantastic.
Yeah,
I've had
it's one of our food. In our culture, though, most times they fry it in oil.
Yeah.
And not doing it in oil is the where we're having trouble, because we were talking about it. My son spent 2 years in the West Indies in Trinidad, and they ate a lot of it, but they were frying it, smashing it, frying it again, kind of thing. So, yeah, that's not going to work for me. So
no, don't fry it. Don't fry it. Just bake it or boil it or put it in the beans. It's so good.
Awesome. Caroline, what are you eating over there in Canada?
First, I just wanted to say that I live 3 hours north of Edmonton, and I have family in Spruce Grove.
Oh, mine.
So I'm not that far away.
Where do you live? Where?
I live in Valley View.
Oh,
it's just towards Grand Prairie.
Yeah.
I'm going next week to see my family, actually, so I'll be in the area.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Well, today I just had leftovers, brown rice, beans, green beans, banana peppers. My preload soup, I always have my non-starchy veggie soup, and yeah.
Did you get your waffle iron yet?
No, not yet.
Oh, it's slated the 27th, I think.
Yeah, it's 26 or something.
So in the next week, she was our last month winner, and she got a waffle iron that also has a flip plate on there that makes donuts. And so we talked about using a mashed sweet potato and oats to make a healthy donut.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get quite a few people up here from there. Sandy, you want to tell us what you're eating today? Or anything new you've been trying this week? You've been putting some.
I posted it earlier. I was eating a late breakfast, and I did the little yellow potatoes and a salad, because I'm trying to do the Mary's Mini.
Okay.
For this week, so I started today.
Like Yukon potatoes?
Yeah. Well, they're the little ones, the teeny weeny ones, the little round ones. And so, but yeah, I had another bigger one, the Yukon, in there too. So that's what I did today, and it was good. And then I made my own little sauce, and I posted the stuff I used and how much I used to make that sauce. It was so yummy. So I'm hoping to be able to keep up the Mary Minnie's diet this week.
Awesome. Before I forget, I'm going to screen share with you real quick. If you click on the little chat button on the bottom of the screen for the, let me find it here. I think that's it. No, that's not it. Hold on. Oh, it's doing the screeny thing. It's not going to let me show you that. Okay, so we're going to cancel that. Let me just walk you through it. If at the bottom of your screen, there's a little chat button. If you click the chat button, the chat pops up on the right side of your screen, or on your phone, it'll change screens for you. But in there, I put the links to Adenike's Facebook page, Just Eat Plants, with a space between it. Just search that. On YouTube, it's Just Eat Plants all together. And on Instagram, it's justeatplants.ca. If you want to be able to see that. And then you can just join all of our pages and pick our brain as we go. So I think we've got, oh, and if you want to save it, at the very bottom, if you're on your computer, where it says type a message here, and it says everywhere, and on the right, it says file. And then there's 3 little dots. And if you hit the 3 little dots, it comes up and says save chat. And you can save that chat to your computer, so you can go back and find these links or whatever shared in that space, again later. Okay. All right. Cool. All right.
Awesome.
Let me undo the chat thing so it doesn't take up all the space here. All right. So we've got Samantha Maxwell. You want to tell us what you've been eating this week?
This week I've been, honestly, pretty bad at eating. I keep forgetting to meal prep. But today I had one of Dr. McDougall's, one of his split pea soups. They come in a package that you put boiling water in and let it sit. and it's primarily made out of split peas, and it's really good. So
yeah, I love that one. Now, the registered dietitian for Dr. McDougall's program, when he sold it, they did a few things different. When he sold that company, the Just Right Foods, and the salt in those are like twice what they should be. So the recommendation is to either use two of the cups in a like a jar with the water, and only use one of the little seasoned packets. Or what I do is I dilute it. So I love it thick, where it's really super thick, like we do there at the clinic. But here at the house, and I started doing this when I was recovering from the surgery and I couldn't have bowel movements for 10 days. As I put the soup in the bottom, I put the packet in there, and then I fill it up the full quart of hot water. And that made it so that it wasn't quite as salty, and I took longer to eat it. So watch the salt content on that. It's not going to kill you by any means, but it is absolutely delicious. Or he also said you use half the packet and it still tastes just as good. So that would be something to try.
very true.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I got something new. So who knows what this is called? It's not a sea urchin.
Lychee or whatever you say.
So I looked it up.
Lychee? No.
It's actually the lychee family.
It's from the lychee family. We were looking up on the previous call. It's rambutane, Rambutan. And I had to go to YouTube. So let me screen share here with you. Had to go to YouTube to see how to use it, and found these, not the Lay's potato chips, right there. So when you cut it open, there is this white pearl looking fruit that you're supposed to just scoop out and eat. And so I haven't tasted it yet. So I'm going to cut one open really quick and tell you, because these are all over here in Texas at our grocery store right now.
Wild.
Yeah. So
yeah, my daughter and I saw them, and we didn't know what they were when she just left them there. We saw them at ATB.
So are they grown in Texas? Whoops.
I don't think so, and I didn't look at that to see where they actually came from. But so I just cut it just a little bit to pop open the seed here, and I'm trying not to spill. So I'm gonna put this down here so it doesn't drip. Okay, and then voila, it's like there's a little pearl inside of here.
Awesome.
Has anybody eaten this before?
No.
So you're all gonna watch me die right here on YouTube, right in front
No, don't die.
Oh, that was.
Don't hold your breath, people. Yeah.
Is it
Right, so
sweet?
there's another, the outside. So there's a little trick to it, because in the inside, I almost broke my teeth. There's another nut.
Oh,
So, all right, so it peels off. It's almost like an almond on the inside, but I'm not going to eat that. I'll look that up and see if it will kill me. So I'm going to take that out.
Cyanide City.
I'm going to take that out. And there's a little bit of nut skin here.
Oh my God.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to go now. I need to go back to work.
Okay. We just wanted to play with you all day.
Well, nice to meet everybody.
Thank you so
Nice to
much.
meet you.
I'll watch
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll
Let's
see you
go.
soon. Watch for the upload, and I'll send it to you so you can share it.
All right, thanks.
But
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I haven't died yet, but I am definitely going to peel that brown off. I'm going to use a little knife and peel that off, because I don't want to put, it's kind of woody.
So does it taste like a lychee?
I don't know what a lychee is. I've never had one. This
Never had
is like,
lychee.
Lychees are great.
this
Yeah.
is like super hard inside of here, almost like a inside of a coconut shell, but it doesn't look like any meat you could peel off of it. I wonder if you dried it out, if it could make a ring holder or something. I don't know. It's too cute. But
Yeah.
I mean, you think they always say, I like to say, God had a sense of humor when you find stuff like this. and who was the first person who said, "Wow, I think I'm gonna pop that open and see if it's edible"? I mean,
So what did it taste like?
it tastes like
Is it like kiwi fruit?
It tastes kind of like kiwi. Yes, it does.
Okay.
Yes, it does. I would say that. Okay. Well, have I missed anybody yet today? So we got Carolyn and Max and Diane. Diane, where are you going? Diane's been hiding.
Yeah, well, my friend, my gentleman friend, decided to stop in unannounced, and so I had to go see what he wanted.
He wants you.
Yeah, well.
Put a ring on it. All right. So what exciting new things have you tried this week for your success?
Oh, it's been kind of boring. I did manage to go out to dinner with my friends and find a vegetarian restaurant that had a Szechuan stir fry over brown rice, which probably had a little oil in it, but I've eaten it for 2 meals, so I've tried to minimize the damage. But it was better than going and getting a steak, so I did pretty good.
Yeah, you have the same birthday as Samantha, so and then mine was after that, and I think Lonnie's was before that. So we all ended up. Did you go out for your birthday, Lonnie? I know Sam and Diane and I did.
No, I stayed home. I had some flowers to plant and stuff, so that was a nice day.
That's awesome.
Any day it doesn't rain in Seattle is a nice day, so that was one of the nice days.
We did really, really good. Samantha and I ironically ended up at the same restaurant different times, but went to 54th Street, and they have a really nice salad. No croutons, of course. And we've found that we really enjoy salads without dressing. My husband orders them if he doesn't have Thousand Island, which is his go-to. If they don't have that, he eats it just with a fork or with his fingers by himself, like popcorn. And I ended up getting on a gluten-free bun. I got a veggie burger that was very much like what I would make at home. It was made with beans and vegetables, and it didn't have a lot of fat. And I think it was baked or microwaved because it was not greasy at all. And it had lettuce and pickles and onions and stuff on it. So I hadn't had a burger like that in a long time. And so that was kind of fun. And we were at Red Robin the other day, and I did it again, but it was the same. They have two kinds of burgers out in the restaurants these days. Even Burger King is carrying that Impossible Burger or that Beyond Meat. Please do not eat that, short of getting sued by the companies. I'm going to just tell you right now, it's crap. And it's just full of saturated fat, and it's got the same chemical in it that makes the beef look red in the store. And if you know anything about how slaughterhouses work, they actually hang the meat upside down and drain. They call it bloodletting. For like 2 weeks, they let all the blood drain out of the meat and let the meat start to kind of break down and decompose so that it's actually able to be cut and used for eating. That just grosses you out just thinking about that process. But if you were to buy meat at the store in its natural color, it would be kind of an olive green, rainbow swirl of slime on top color, which is, again, disgusting. So to give it that bright red color that you're used to seeing in the grocery store, where you can walk in and go, oh, beef department red, chicken yellow, pork pink, those are all food dyes. But there's also a chemical, and I'd have to look it up, that they put in there to give it back that red texture. It's part of the dye process where they spray it over the top or whatever. It is not blood running out of the meat when they ask for their steak to be cooked rare. It is food dye and chemicals that is coming out of that meat to make that blood on the plate. It's not real blood. That was drained weeks ago before it ever even got to market. But those Beyond Burgers are using the same chemical in the meat. And if you look at the ingredients list, there's no way you could recreate that at home. Whereas I can take oats, and I can take lentils, or I can take oats, and I can do, what's that one we posted on the Facebook group? If you look on YouTube and look up the fartless burger, that's where I got the inspiration for it. But you just literally take rice, that was what it is, rice, cooked rice and cooked oats, all the seasonings, and you mash them all together, and you make this incredible hamburger patty or meatballs or meatloaf. And then one of the gals in the group, Melanie Boris, our guest speaker 2 weeks ago, she was also from Canada, and she had posted her recipe where she takes all these ingredients and puts it in boiling water, stirs it all together and lets it cook up with the rice and the oats. And then she lets it cool down, and then she forms it into patties. Have y'all seen that one?
No.
So let me show you here. If you go to the Facebook group, go back to our group page here. And we go to, hold on, Sam, right there. Okay, there we go. Go over here. And we put in, we search burger. Whoops. Find a little search button. Sometimes on your phone, it's up here in the corner. And we put in burger recipe. Try this. So this is one oil-free, and this was all plant-based. Is this one I posted? Yeah. And then down here, we're talking about it. Hold on just a second. Let me find it again. Let me just put burger. So this is the recipe here. So this was what mine looked like with the oats and the rice. And I have some roasted red bell peppers and onions and all kinds of goodies in there. I was making meatballs and hamburger patties. That turned out delightful. This one here's a little bit overcooked here, but that was another veggie burger recipe. And I think if we get down here, there's one from Melanie. Where'd it go? This is the recipe here on Debbie Days right here. I asked her to post the recipe. And this is the one that she does. So it's 4 cups of water in a pan, diced up onion, 4 cups cooked brown rice, 4 cups quick cook oats, half a cup of nutritional yeast, and 3/4 cup soy sauce or aminos or something like that. You bring the water to a boil, add the chopped onions and boil for about 5 minutes, stir in remaining ingredients and stir until the liquid's absorbed. Remove from heat and allow to cool. Then you can either form into burger-shaped patties or leave as ground beef. You can also turn it into meatloaf. I've seen her do it both ways. And it's just one of the best recipes. And guess what? It freezes beautifully. So if I go over here to Melanie Boris, that was our guest speaker a couple weeks ago. Here she is here. She's got the meat. She turned it into meatballs over spaghetti squash. Chickpea tacos. Let me go down here. Where's my, I don't know why that's coming up dark. Oh, there we go. This is the meatloaf version right here. It's got cauliflower and mashed potatoes with mushroom gravy and peas. That's how firm they are. You can actually put them on the grill and cook them like a real live burger. Okay. So it's a really good recipe. And because it's just rice and oats, you're not going to have the gas that a lot of the bean burger recipes create. But if we're eating beans on a regular basis, we don't have that reaction to the complex sugar anyways, because our body gets used to it. And there's so much fiber and so much good usable protein in the beans. Dr. McDougall recommends having up to a cup a day. He's not a real big bean fan, but one of their most go-to recipes that he and Mary eat on a regular basis is the whole grain, like corn tortillas with rice and beans in it. That's one of their biggest go-tos. And so, but a cup of beans a day is not going to be too much of protein and stuff for your liver to handle, but maybe put some in your salad and, make a couple of these burgers or something like that if you're trying to get Max. This would be a great recipe for you to do for your meal prep. I'd like to see how that turns out for you, but make some of those oats and rice burgers and report back to us next week and let me know how they turned out for y'all's family.
Sounds good.
Okay. All right. If anybody have any other questions?
I was just going to make a comment because I've been closer to Max's situation than anybody else's today for a long time. And the biggest thing that helped me was getting frozen veggies, like the best organic, flash frozen, picked ripe veggies that I can get, in combinations where I can just like cut off a corner and literally pour that into the big quart jar. If you did the soup the way she said and diluted it, like you could have all these yummy, chewy veggies like on top of it. And then it's way more satisfying than just, a little, especially for a guy, like to have that little cup of soup,
Yeah, they're about, I want to say, were they 200 calories max? I can't remember. But they are small, but because they're so thick, they're filling. But
yeah, it's
throwing the
200.
vegetables in with the hot water, that's a keeper right there. That would make it really a lot easier.
And then the other thing I was going to say, for like, if we're buying salads, if we're eating out, so to speak, and buying a salad somewhere that's truly vegan, then even if it comes with dressing that we're not going to use, like just to grab a hummus and throw that on there as dressing, huge game changer for me. Because it's like, I can't find compliant dressings or whatever. And I tend to have the California balsamics, the little sample sizes, and the little bottles in my car. And, there's always one in my purse. Like that really helps. Like the grapefruit one. Oh my God.
Yeah.
On a top salad or something like that. Bingo. So.
I don't know if you guys have Jason's Delis where you're at, but here in San Antonio, we have Jason's Deli, and it's this buffet, and you can go across and get food like you would at like Luby's, where you can have them serve your plate or whatever. You can order off the menu, but we go there and we get this giant baked potato, and they don't have the really authentic big baked potatoes. So they take 2 regular potatoes, cut off the end and butt them next to each other and serve them to you as this giant potato. And we were trying that, and I get like soup to put on it, like their vegetable soup to top the potato with, or the salad or whatever. But I have this one friend, associate, that is a vegan bodybuilder, and he's been a vegan bodybuilder, an alkaline vegan bodybuilder, in fact, for many years now. And he is, I'm sure he's the manager of Jason Deli's nightmare, because when he walks in, they're like going, oh no, he's back. Because he'll hit that salad bar, and their plates are pretty big. They're kind of like a bowl plate. And he'll go in there and pile it full of all kinds of vegetables. And then he literally picks up the hummus container and starts scooping it onto his salad. And that's how he's getting his dressing, is using the hummus. In a restaurant setting, I'm sure they use some oil, but at home, hummus is like the quickest, easiest thing you can make, with just throwing some garbanzo beans in a food processor, or smashing them with a fork. But I throw them in the food processor with like a clove of garlic and maybe some basil leaves that I got from Max's mom. And I blend that all up, and it is enough delight and flavor that you want to wear it as cologne.
Ooh, I have another really quick tip. I'm a bit of a chefy person, which sometimes gets me in trouble, but this is a good one. Mark Bittman is one of these guys. It's a food writer, and definitely eats meat. So that's over here. But on his podcast, he'll throw in these simple little recipes. Well, lately they've all been not just veggie forward, but totally compliant for us, as long as you don't put the oil in. And I think, so he was talking about guacamole, and he was saying you can make a guacamole with asparagus. You can make a guacamole. I'm trying to remember what else he said, with peas. Anyway, it just made me realize, like, oh, we've been like, so limited in what we think of those things. And it was so simple. It was like, just pretend you're making guacamole with avocados, but just do it with those. And then he talked about like I was thinking to myself, okay, well, if I'm not going to put olive oil in, what could I do? Well, I always have olives, which is probably something I have to change. I hear you. But like, if I was trying to like do something really nice for myself, like for a treat, an acceptable treat would be smash some of those damn olives.
Yeah.
Throw that in the guacamole.
And that's what they'll tell you in McDougall. It's the whole food. And I did a little report on that on there. If you search, I think olive oil in the group chat thing, just look up there in the, not the chat, but on the page, look up the word olive. And you're going to see that it takes like 55 to 60 olives just to make a teaspoon. You know,
No,
and I tell people, I said, I would never sit down and eat 50 olives ever. But wait a second, if I was 5, I'd put them on my fingers and I would do it again. I could eat the whole can when I was 5.
I'm going to be 54 and I've done that in the past year. So I haven't eaten them all, but anyway, that was my little chefy tip, because I thought, like, if I want to feel like I'm eating like Mark Bittman, but doing whole food plant-based, like that's a very chefy way to solve the problem. And I'm for that.
And I'm literally obsessed with, at our store, we can get the glass jars of the roasted red bell peppers in water that are organic. And girlfriend, I have been known to crack that little bottle and dump the whole thing on what I'm making. And it's
artichokes, jarred artichokes.
Oh yes,
that's
I get those in water also.
I have friends that for a year and a half, we went to the same Italian restaurant every Tuesday night, and they wouldn't let me pay and whatever. But it was so hard to find what I could eat. I ended up getting some Flora, which is not probably a whole food, I don't know, but it's vegan. They have like a fake butter and a fake cream, and it's all plants. Yeah. But I ended up getting a chef sample kit and giving most of it to that restaurant, because I'm like, listen, when I'm here, all I want is your whole grain pasta with a tiny bit of this butter. Do you know what I mean? And like veggies. If you can do that for me, then I will continue to add to your big bill every Tuesday night. And if I can't, then I can't be here, and it's your fault. Like, you know. And they worked with me, and I went back there and I taught them how to make some of their simple things be totally compliant for someone. Means so now there's a Nancy's plate item.
Nice. Absolutely nice. That's wonderful.
I don't go there anymore because of COVID, and you know, people moved away. But it just goes to show, like, you know, we just need to be creative and talk to people, and we can make anything work.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why I like
the group.
What, Sandy?
That's why I like the group, because you could get all these ideas from everybody, you know, and then everybody sending their pictures, you know, that helps too.
Yeah,
you
sometimes
add more
they don't
to
even
your
need
variety.
a recipe. Sometimes it's so simple we can figure out just by looking at it. And
Yeah,
sometimes we'll ask for a recipe after that, and that's perfectly fine. Everybody's so willing to share. We just have the best group ever, and we're here to help, and we help each other. And I've noticed it's been so funny. Sometimes I've been really busy with this trip planning for next month, and I haven't been on for several hours or maybe the whole day. And I'll go on there, and people had these questions they were asking me, and then the group jumped in and answered. And it's like, I love it. Everybody's taking care of each other. So I enjoy that.
Happy to be here.
All right, guys. Well, I'm going to wrap it up. We've gone 1 hour and 35 minutes, and you've been fantastic. Be sure to post your pictures, and then the Tuesday night, the day before our prize, which is July 7th, I think we figured out. So by the 6th of July, you're just counting what was in May. So because July is another month. So at the end of this month, it gives you a whole 6 days to add up how many pictures of recipes or food plates or bowls or whatever, how many posts that you made, how many videos you shared that taught us something new that we wanted to learn, or a positive tip or whatever. And for attending these live luncheons, you get a point. For watching the playback and leaving a comment below, you get a point. But I need you to do all that. I do not have enough time in my life to go count up all y'all's contributions. So it's up to you to give me your numbers. Either send it to me in an instant message or Beth Renfro, and let us know what your total is, so that we can get you in the drawing. I'd like to do it on the show. I will be traveling, so that'd be kind of fun. I'll be in the travel trailer, and we'll mix it up and have my technician or something reach his hand in and pull out the winner. But let's do it. Let's get our points in. And the more you contribute to the Facebook group, the more times your name is in that hat. So it's a lot of cutting for me, but it's fun. Okay.
Hold on, Nancy, have you ever tried to eat salad without dressing?
I mean, I have, but honestly, I'm still at a point where dressing's my favorite part. I've got a tradition to the point that where like an oily dressing doesn't even taste good to me anymore. So progress, but yeah, I'm not there. I'm not there. I mean, if it's like a fruit salad or my kids, I have kids like that. I don't know. I can't relate to it. I'm sure that there's a day that will come, but I'm not there.
She's obsessed with mustard now.
Yeah, I put mustard on my salad, and it's.
I heard you say, yeah, I think I caught that last time, and I love mustard, so I'm game. I tend to like sort of German, sort of seedy, the ones that come in the little round jars. Those are sort of my favorites, but I'm not adverse to French's. Yeah.
I've actually thrown even just a little tablespoon of sauerkraut just to stir that in and get a little flavor.
Oh, I do that. I do like I think I posted last week. I had a spinach salad with grapefruit sections that I supremed without the pith or anything, and it was just so juicy. Wow. I didn't intend for it to be the dressing, but it ended up being the dressing, and I did not. I mean, I really didn't miss anything from that. And what was the other thing I was thinking about? It'll come to me later. But anyway, those are great.
Guys. Well, I'm really excited that y'all were here today and we had great input. Wasn't Adenike fun?
So fun.
Oh my gosh. And I'm just so anxious to go through and watch more of her videos and learn some of her tips. Anxious to see her plantain video. I'm sure she'll do that for us soon. So another win-win for the McDougall program, and our gratitude to them for making it so affordable and doable. I think we might go through that coloring book next week. That would be a good thing to go through. It's not very long, and there's a YouTube video that actually reads it to us and tells us. So I think we might share that with you next week if you haven't seen it. It's like a game changer. I'm a very visual person anyways. And she mentioned that, it's like, oh my gosh, I forgot about that book. And it says right on it, feel free to share this with as many people as you can share it with. So a lot of stuff is that way. It's you go to the McDougall, drmcdougall.com website, and you could spend days in there looking at all the free stuff that's available to us. So we have no excuses for not having the information. And if we're too busy to read it, go to YouTube. That has been my thing. I go to YouTube and somebody says, hey, can you help me with this condition? Hey, can you help me with that condition? And I've been able to go in there and put McDougall and whatever that condition is, and bam, I've got choices of videos to watch that are extremely helpful in helping people to understand, everything from autoimmune disease to, diabetes, you name it, it's in there and available for us to help and work with. So
it's also a brand new website. They put up a brand new website last week.
Yeah, it's really pretty. It
really looks clean and
find
beautiful.
Things on there. So that's Dr McDougall McDougal.com.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, y'all. You have a great week, and we'll see you next week, same time, same bat channel, and we will be there. All right, guys. Take care.
Bye.
Have a great week.
You too.